Though I may be far away, my heart is in the Highlands. You can't build a great building on weak foundations. Scotland's Lowland and Highland League provides the platform for Scotland's premier competitions to flourish, as well as producing some of the SPFL's best underdogs: Bonnyrigg Rose, Cove Rangers, Kelty Hearts, and Spartans, to name but a few. Join myself and my good friend Dave, aka Lover of Drams, as we rate and rank all 34 Highland and Lowland League home kits for the 2023-24 season, and we'll see which of Scotland's most entertaining leagues comes out on top.
So occupying the last place, the relegation place, is Civil Service Strollers. With this top, there's just absolutely nothing to this one. It sounds harsh, but it's really not. But it's just plain, it's boring, it's just rubbish. Sorry Civil Service, I'm really not a fan of this one at all, sorry. And then next up we have Edinburgh University. This top for me is just ever so marginally better than the one we've just seen from Civil Service, but it's still not a good top at all. I think they only finished above Civil Service due to Matt's generosity and giving this one a 4. He was way too generous with that score. For this one as well, the colours of the top don't even match the colours of the badge, which to me just feels plain wrong. And now we have Brechin City. This offering from Macron, for me, is just plain boring. It feels like not enough of effort went into designing this top. So I think my rating of 3 kind of reflects that. It's just a boring top. Sorry Brechin City fans. Next in the league is Trinent. Now I promise you, I rated this top before Trinent ended up being one of the few losing teams in my coupon during the recent Scotch Cup weekend. But yeah, much like an earlier offering, it's just plain and boring this top again. I don't even think it's a nice colour either, to be honest with you. And now we have Turf United. I'm not really sure what to think of this one. They've tried to add a bit of a design to it, but the design that is there, it just looks plain weird to me. I think this is another prime example of something that should belong in the seat of a bus. So yeah, not a great offering from this one either. I feel like I've been really harsh so far on my ratings. What do you all think? Do you agree with my ratings? Do you think I've been overly harsh? Next up is Cowdenbeath, one of the giants of Scottish football who have fallen into the pits of Lowland League football. Well, I use the term giants very loosely. Again, there's just not much going for this top at all, is there? At least the colours match the badge anyway this time, so that's a positive. And it is a good shade of blue for the team affectionately known as the Blue Brazil. Matty, where are you getting a 5 from for this top? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this one. And now we have Buckie Thistle. It's a coincidence that the top looks like a carbon copy of an old Celtic top and they've just been drawn against Celtic in the Scottish Cup. I think that's a coincidence. Anyway, back to the top. There's no originality or uniqueness to it for me. I think they just saw someone else's top, liked what they saw, and then decided to settle for that one. So yeah, you can see I gave this one a 3. I think in an earlier video for the SPL home kits, you can see I didn't really like the Celtic one at all, so this just brought back those kind of memories and vibes for me for this one. Sorry Buckie. Good luck in the Scottish Cup though. And then moving on to Cumbernauld Colts. I gave this one a 5. It's a fairly middle of the road top for me. It's decent enough to be well clear of the relegation places, but not good enough to have been challenging for those lofty heights of our kit rating league. This is a prime example of what I would call just a safe top. So yeah, I give this one, like I said, I give this one a 5. Pretty bang average, to be honest with you. And now we have another entry in this league from a university team. This time from our local teams, still in university. Now I believe the design in the top is the map of the university campus. However, do let me know in the comments if I'm wrong with that and I've just completely made that up. But yeah, I wasn't really a huge fan of this top at all. I give this one a 3. I just don't really like the design of it. I think only Matt's lofty rating of a 6 has kept this one safe from any relegation worries. So yeah, not a big fan of this one at all either.
Go Brora Rangers. The Cats with a pretty solid outing. From a distance looking plain, but get a little closer and you see the detail. A lot of clubs rocking this Puma design for the last year or so, but I'd be pretty happy as a fan if I got that. And well done on your recent exploits in the Scottish Cup. I found this rating by Dave to be incredibly harsh, surprising in fact. I mean, he's usually a sucker for a classic Umbro cut. I love that they've gone with no third colour. Burgundy and white, just like their badge, all that they need. I can only apologise on Dave's behalf to the fine folk of West Lothian. What's happened, folks? See what I did there? One of the newer Highland League teams with a classy effort from Edinburgh's finest kit manufacturers, Albion Sports. Dave and I with the matching rating here. I would love to have seen Albion given more room to be, or more incentive just to be a little more out there. But at the end of the day, it's the club's decision and a good effort, I would say. Right, so bonus. Not much to say on this one, pretty much copy and paste everything I said about Brora, but for this in blue. Solid template from Puma, like I said before. And yeah, let's go Bo. Enjoy your Gala day. Hail, hail, it's Deveronvale. The generic Adidas template slaps harder at lower levels of football. Maybe that's just me, or if that makes sense to you as well, I hope anyway. It's like when you're a kid and you'd get your first Adidas boots, you'd always feel like a dog with two dicks. But anyway, like, you'd feel good as a fan if you picked this one up. It's safe to say it's an enjoyable effort for Deveronvale. What do I always say? We always need more Joma in these kit ratings. Keith's look is slick, stylish. You gotta respect the friendly town for this effort, or the friendly tune. But hey, a quick Keith fact before we check out. So did you know in 2022, 1 in every 4,000 babies was named Keith? In the UK, of course. Right, disclaimer. I am 1000% biased when it comes to my beloved Fords mechanics. Fantastic to see the hoops returning after many years under the Macron umbrella. The chocolate and gold is bold as ever and stands out compared to the cookie cutter designs of some of the kits in this league. Only criticism I think I would have is I would like to have seen another hoop behind the sponsor. I think it would have completed the look. Just gotta hope that I get this or the away kit for Christmas. I'm on the cans. Fraserburgh. So this effort from the Brock is class. The new sponsor fits in nicely. It's a class kit, class club. Terrible Weatherspoons though, I must say. Avoid it at all costs. You'd be dripping like a knackered fridge if someone gave you this for Christmas. Lossymouth. So, Mad's similar to the Vale kit. If it's not the exact same template with a different badge, it's pretty damn close. But I've got a lot of time for Lossy, a great part of the world. And shout out to Shaker, absolute legend of Football North and a die-hard coaster. They were my first away days video, just over a year ago. So if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. Beautiful place. Dave scoring this so low almost gave me an aneurysm. That's the first thing off the bat. I think he must have been looking at Gala Fairydean's brutalist stand rather than the shirt itself to giving it such a poor rating. I love the fading gradient, half and half. Joma smashing it. Again, we need more Joma in the leagues. Really disappointing in Dave. Get fucked, Dave. Right, hipster favourites, Caledonian Braves, with a kit as bold as their ambitions. So loved Macron going for something different to any of their other efforts that we can see in the league this season. We've said it before how there isn't a more scattergun kit making company than them, in a good way though. Like from their peak to their worst, it's huge gap. So if you're not a fan of kits, I'm hearing you can buy a share in this club, from what I've read. And as a man who's recently returned from Las Vegas, I can definitely say I've spent my money on worse than buying shares in a football club. The last time we'll see Adidas on this list, and despite similarities between them all out with the three stripes, I'm so glad Dave agreed with me that Formartine should be on top. The Pit Midden Giants should be proud of their 14th place finish. And a wee fact for you, Formartine has the record for the most goals scored in a Highland League season, with 137 goals in the 2016-17 season. That's one that you don't want to miss out on if you're up this far north. Entertainment guaranteed. Broomhill have missed an open goal with this one. Haha. Looking a bit like a retro Kilmarnock kit. I like it. Simplicity meant it couldn't reach above a 7, but better than average. Dave loves the classic look. Not bad for Broomhill. Now then, I always enjoy an Albion Rovers kit. It's a colour scheme that ain't too common. Appreciate the boldness of it. However, I am surprised that Yule Sport didn't go with the same template as Steady and Montrose. I am chuffed they went in a different direction, but I do like those kits and rate them quite highly. However, the diagonal racing stripe being cut off in the middle where the sponsor is doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't look quite right. If they had maybe just not included that bit, it could have smashed an 8 easily, I would say. Last one before Dave handles the top 10. So Uni will be chuffed to see the Speysiders finishing so high. Shout out to him. Macron with the digitised blur sleeve and subtle stripes on the body. You won't be able to see it in the pictures included, but it's slightly contrasting orange. I like it. The Station Hotel sponsor fitting in well as a black silhouette. Overall, a great effort and a nice touch that is customisable. So on the website you can grab yourself a Milne 5 jersey. El Capitano. Right, enjoy the top 10.
And now we're moving on to the top 10. In at number 10 here we've got Inverurie Local Works. This is actually a really nice top. I was a big fan of this one. Although it's kind of retro to me, almost like an old AC Milan top of days gone by. And you'll know I do love a collar as well. This one complements the top quite well, I think. I'm however struggling to think why I didn't score this one higher than a 7 though. I think this should have been an 8 or even a 9. I really need to rethink my rating strategy, I think, don't you? So I'll put Inverurie. I should have scored higher, but it's still a very good score, so well done. And another senior team to slip out of the professional ranks is Berwick Rangers. For as long as I can remember, this has been their style, so kudos to them for sticking to it. It is a fairly decent top, and the orange and black do go well together, but I just wish a Berwick would do a bit more to spice it up a little bit, you know. They've had the same style for, like I said, as long as I can remember. So as it can get a little boring, but the top looks nice enough to get away with it, if you know what I mean. And it's good to see that Matty actually agrees with me on a rating for once. It's not very often that happens. And now we have East Devonshire, who are another one of those senior clubs in Scotland to have fallen foul of the pyramid system being brought in, although that was for the better of the game, to be fair, I might add. It's not a bad top, this one. However, the design does just look like someone's driven over it in their car with those tyre marks on there. That design, which I have seen in a few tops over the course of these kit rating videos, they do seem to put me off a little bit. As a bit of a turn off for me on football kits, so I think that's probably why I scored this one a 6. Apologies East Scotland, but it's not a huge fan, but still, it's not bad though, to be fair. Now, I just wanted to open this one up by firstly apologising to Huntley. I scored this one a 6, but it really should have been higher than this one, to be honest with you. I think an 8 at least. I should have scored this one on hindsight. But yeah, going to the actual top itself, for me the only thing missing from this one is a collar. I think a collar here would have brought this one up to a 9, maybe even a 10. But yeah, like I said, my rating was, I think in hindsight, is too low for this one. I don't really know what was going through my head that day. I must have been having a bad day with Livingston getting beat probably, or Man U getting beat, you know what it's like. So apologies to Huntley. And now we have Wick Academy. This is actually another really pretty decent top, to be fair to Wick here. I think the only thing that held me back with this one was just that red trim around the top. Sometimes a trim like that can look really good, however, sometimes less is also better. So I do think if the red wasn't there, this probably would have scored higher for me, because other than that, it is quite a really nice top. So yeah, that kind of red trim just will load the rating down for me, just from my own opinion though. Next up in the league we have Strathspey. I'm going to hold my hands up with this one. This is another one where I should have scored higher than what I did. I gave this one a 6, but I think looking back at it again, this probably should have been at least a 7 from me. I will counter that as well by saying that I think Matt was a bit too loose with his 9 here. I wouldn't have scored it that high myself personally, but however, this is still a really good effort from Strathspey and from Joma. There's been a few decent tops from Drama this season, some misses, but yeah, there's still been a few decent ones. So another apology I'm owed to Strathspey, so apologies for that one. And now we have Clachnacuddin, or Clachnacuddin, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sure Matty with his Highland bros will keep me right on that one. But yeah, with this one I gave this one a 6, and I can see Matt gave this one a 9. I wanted to like it as much as that, however I just felt like there was something missing from this one for me. I've looked at the top a few times and I just can't quite put my finger on what is missing from it, but I've just got that bit of a vibe from it that there's just something not quite there with the top. It's not a bad effort though, don't get me wrong. I think a 6 for me is probably a fair score on my behalf. Now we're getting to the business end of the league here. Taking 3rd place, that bronze medal, as Gretna 2008. Now I believe Gretna 2008 were born out of the ashes of the now defunct Gretna FC. You know, that same Gretna who bought their way to success and cut final appearances and then suffered heavily as a result once that money stopped coming in. From what I remember, they've kind of stuck to the same colours, I think, as the previous Gretna incarnation. Although I think the previous team might have had more white than black through it. But in regards to this top, well, this is actually a fairly decent top. I do like that sleeve design. I just think this could have done with a bit more white through it for me personally. It just seems, it feels too dark for me, I think. And in 2nd place, we have East Kilbride. Now, I do have some family connections to East Kilbride, however, I didn't let that cloud my judgment here. One of the major things that put me off from giving this one a higher score was that sponsor logo not matching, or at least not complementing the colours of the top. I think it does make it stand out, but for me, it's not in a good way, as what a sponsor logo normally does. that it just kind of held me back from giving it a higher rating than a 7. And coming in at first place, in their rightful place as champions of this prestigious kit rating league, is Nairn County. Now this was a beautiful, stunning top from the good folks at Nairn County and Hope and Glory. Although I can't say I've actually heard of Hope and Glory as a kit manufacturer, but well done to them. The top has the same colours as my beloved Love AFC. There's a nice wee design in there as well. There's a buttoned up collar. The badge blends in really well with the top too. I should have scored this on a 10 actually. This would have been one of my very few 10s I've given, non 8. So sorry Nairn, I should have scored you higher. However, it doesn't change your status as King of the Highland v Lowland League kits. Very worthy winners, so congratulations to Nairn County.